Welcome to Introduction to Biology of Behavior, GCE 106. Welcome to Study Session 1, The Science of Biology. Introduction. Have you ever wondered how scholars and others get to know the functioning of the body, how the mind works, and how living things interact with one another? Biology is a science that deals with the living world. Its methods are similar to those employed in all natural sciences. This very interesting study that ranges from microscopic cellular molecules to the multicellular microforms of life, encompassing the Earth's surface and its living organisms. To this extent, this study session is to provide you with a definition of biology and what it's all about. Learning outcomes. At the end of this study session, you should be able to 1. Explain the term biology. 2. Discuss the 4 basic principles of modern biology. Meaning of biology. The word biology is from the Greek word bios, which means life, while logos means science. It can therefore be simply put as the science of life. As a separate science, biology was developed in the 19th century when scientists discovered that organisms shared fundamental characteristics. It is now a standard subject of instruction at school and universities. Biology is a branch of natural science, and it is the study of living organisms and how they interact with their environment. It deals with every aspect of a living organism. It examines the structure, functions, growth, origin, evolution, and distribution of living things. It classifies and describes organisms, their functions, and how species come into existence and the interactions they have with each other with the natural environment. Aspects of biological science range from the study of molecular mechanisms in cells to the classification and the behavior of organisms, how species evolve, and interactions between ecosystems. The study of biology can be divided into different disciplines such as A. Ethology, B. Evolutionary biology, C. Physiology, D. Genetics, E. Molecular biology, F. Morphology, G. Systematics, H. Ecology. Biology often overlaps with other sciences, for example, biochemistry and toxicology with biology, chemistry and medicine, biophysics with biology and physics, stratigraphy with biology and geography, astrobiology with biology and astronomy. Social sciences such as geography, philosophy, psychology, and sociology can also interact with biology. For example, in administration of biological resources, developmental biology, biogeography, evolutionary psychology, and ethics. Definition of biology. The word biology is derived from the Greek words bios meaning life and logos meaning study, and so is defined as the science of life and living organisms. Characteristics of living things. When you look at your environment, you will discover there are both living and non-living things. But the question is, what actually distinguishes living things from non-living things? To say an organism exists is the same thing as saying that it is busy, it is full of life, it is going on, it is alive, it is full of energy. Living things can be distinguished from non-living things by a number of characteristics. Some of them, as you must have been taught in your secondary school days, the acronym Mr. Niger D, are given in the figure below with explanations following. Movement, respiration, nutrition, irritability, growth, excretion, reproduction, death. Movement. All living things move. We all move from one place to the other. Movement simply means a change in position. It could be a total movement, as in the case of animals, or it could be limited to one part of the body, as in plants. Are you wondering how plants move? Plants move in so many ways. They move in response to an external factor such as light or sun. This will be discussed more in irritability. Respiration. When you don't eat for a period of time, you feel very weak and tired, isn't it? The foods we eat give us energy to carry out our daily activities. These foods are broken down through a process known as respiration. Respiration is simply the breakdown of food substances taken in by the organism to release energy. Nutrition. As it was mentioned above, living organisms need food to supply the energy and materials for life. Nutrition involves the total process of taking in and the utilization of foods in animals, as well as taking in of mineral substances and their utilization in plants. Irritability or sensitivity. If your friend pricks you with a sharp object, what do? Or if when cooking you mistakenly touch a very hot pot, you quickly take off your hands, isn't it? All these are instances of your response to an external factor. Irritability is the ability of a living organism to receive an external stimulus and respond to it. There are certain ways your body responds to external factors such as light, sun, noise, heat, and so on. Plants are also sensitive to external factors. They respond to sun, light, touch, and other factors in different ways. In some plants, the leaves close up when you touch them. Example is the plant mimosa. Growth. If you sow a seed in your garden or in a pot, after a few days you would find a tiny seedling coming out of the seed. As days pass, the tiny seedling grows in size. The number of leaves increases and later it grows into a mature plant. Growth in living organisms may be defined as an irreversible increase in the number and size of a cell, organ, or whole organism. The materials used for growth are derived from the food taken in by the organism. Excretion. This is the removal of waste products of metabolism from the body of a living organism. Reproduction. When a photograph is reproduced, a copy is made. Does the same thing happen when an organism reproduces? Reproduction could then be defined as a process of giving rise to new individuals of the same kind for the continuation of life. Reproduction may be sexual or asexual in nature. Plants reproduce when you plant a seed and it brings forth more plants, fruits, and seeds. Another characteristic of organisms that differentiates them from non-living organisms is adaptation. Adaptation is the possession of features, structures, or functions which enable organisms to live successfully and to survive in their respective environments. For example, some plants can survive in deserts where there is limited amount of water, while some cannot. Also, fishes can live in water because they possess features such as gills and fins that enable them to survive in water. You can't live all your life in water because you don't have these features. The table below shows differences between plants and animals. Underlying principles of modern biology. The four underlying principles of modern biology are given in the figure below: cell theory, evolution, gene theory, hemostasis. 1. Cell theory. Cell theory is the study of everything that involves cells. All living organisms are made of at least one cell, which is the basic unit of functions in all organisms. Cell theory studies how cells are made, how they reproduce, how they interact with their environment, what they are composed of, how the materials that make up a cell work and interact with other cell sections. Evolution. In the broadest sense, evolution is merely change, and so is all pervasive. Galaxies, languages, and political systems all evolve. Thus, evolution is a process that results in heritable changes in a population spread over many generations through natural selection and genetic drift. A population's inherited traits change from generation to generation. 3. Gene theory. A living organism's traits are encoded in DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, the fundamental component of genes. In addition, traits are passed on from one generation to the next by the way of these genes. 4. Hemostasis. The physiological processes that allow an organism to maintain its internal environment, notwithstanding its external environment, is called homeostasis. Summary of study session. In this study session, you have learned that 1. The word biology is from the Greek bios, means life, while logos means science. 2. When you look at your environment, you will discover there are both living and non-living things. 3. Nutrition involves the total process of taking in and the utilization of foods in animals, as well as taking in of material substances and their utilization in plants. 4. Irritability is the ability of a living organism to receive an external stimulus and respond to it. We have come to the end of study session 1. Thanks for listening.